Hello my angels and devils and all who may wander here. It is Amanda Christina and I am here with a tutorial and a 100 Things Challenge project. This is number 4 in my 100 Things Challenge. The things I am using up are I am recycling chipboard from some old El Paso boxes, but I have discovered that if you're in Australia, I don't know about overseas, but if you're in Australia, look through your chipboard things, your packaging, because we get a lot of chipboard that has this gorgeous texture which is good for baked goods, which is what gave me the idea to do the cookies. So here are some of my cookies that I've done already. A few people have already started getting these in Happy Mail, and I'm probably going to make these till I run out of the little brown sequins because they are so cute. Super simple, super easy. I forgot to bring out my punch, so I'm just going to use this as the guide. And here's, like, what I did is when I was cutting out the circles, which is a 2-inch Fiskars punch, I basically, if I had room to almost cut a whole circle, that's what I was doing. So I didn't get a lot of these, but this is what I did with the bits that I did cut out from the circles that I did cut a little piece out of so that I could make more cookies. So basically all you're going to do, like if you've got a circle punch, just cut out your circle punch and then just cut a little piece out. Like you just want to turn it into a little sort of petal shape. Okay, so I'll do 3 so that we have 3 on the go. I like to do these in packs of 3 for some reason. I don't know why, it just felt like a nice sized pack. And I got, if you go on eBay or the place that shall not be named or other places that shall not be named, you can find these cute little cookie bags, and you get 100 for a couple of dollars, which is pretty inexpensive. So that's how I've been packaging them, just folding the cookie bag over a bit more than it would normally be. These you usually put like a big individual cookie in, but I just thought this was such cute packaging for cookie embellishment. So here's what we're going to do. We start with is you're going to grab your scissors, and this is the one thing that probably took me a while, is you're going to just notch little bits out. You don't need loads everywhere. You're just going to run your scissors along and take small little bits so your cookie looks like it has a bite out of it. So look, if you see the difference between those two now, you can see, like if you've got scissors with the fancy edges, you might be able to just cut and do that, but it doesn't take very long. It's time consuming if you're doing these in bulk. But that's all you're going to do. So we'll do that again just so you can see. So basically you just take your scissors, and I just twist them. So I just cut, but I also twist at the same time. So twist the cookies so that you get these kind of random depths. Just, you don't want it too deep. You just want it to look like someone's been nibbling on your cookie. See, I could just round that little bit off a bit more, and there you go. So I'm going to do this third one because, as I said, we're going to do 3 at once. I think would be a nice idea because they're really not hard. This is one of the easiest embellishments you'll make, and honestly, a couple of people that have got these have really flipped out over them. They've thought they were really cool. And when you find out how easy these are to make, and if you can find the chipboard, like you could do this with normal chipboard or cardstock depending on what you have. I saw this chipboard and I just straight away thought of baked goods. I just thought of cookies and different things like that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take, I've got espresso here. I used walnut ink at the time, but I have misplaced 2 of my containers of Distress inks. I have no idea what I've done with them. So I am just going to take some espresso ink and I'm just going to rub it onto the edges. Now this is how we get our nice sort of, you know how cookies are sort of more baked on the edges? So I don't know if you can see that super well, but there's sort of like a nice edge to it. So this is all I'm doing is taking it and sort of rubbing it on the cookie. Now this and I'm making sure that I hit the edges so that you don't see any chipboard. So the chipboard goes brown at the edge. So you do this, and then what I usually do is I move on to the next one, and then I come back. So what I do is I should usually do the edge first, just to make sure you're getting that nice brown edge. And because when you bake cookies, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but sometimes when you bake cookies, you get a nice, you get kind of a darker colour to the edge of the cookie. So that's all we're doing, is we're creating that darker edge to the cookie to give it a more, I guess, home-baked feel. I sent these to Tina from Happy Mail, and she said her grandkids would likely mistake them for cookies. Now, I thought maybe not, because because of the sequins, because the sequins are shiny, and I've never seen shiny cookies like that. But you never know with kids. Kids can be funny, but I did think that was quite a compliment. So thank you, Tina, because I really enjoyed making these, and these are such a simple thing to make. Now what we're going to do is we are going to grab a tissue. I just grabbed several, and then I'm just going to rub the excess ink off, which seems counterproductive, but what you get is you get that kind of not too overbaked, sort of like just enough of a colour to make it look like your cookies have been baked. Like some of them come out darker, some of them come out a bit less. It just depends, and you can always go back in and do it again. I'm just using Espresso Distress to give it that sort of cookie effect, and it's really up to you how deep you want that. But just remember that for me, once I started adding the sequins and that, it sort of upped I think the walnut stain did work a little better, but it did up the sort of depth of the colour. This does match in with the cardstock a bit more, so you are going to get that sort of more natural, I think, look. That's just my take anyway. It's really an individual preference. So now I have these sequins. Now, part of why this is 100 Things Challenge is our Spotlight closed in town a couple of years ago or so. It was about 2 years ago, and I got these for 50 cents. Probably more than a couple of years ago. So I've had these sequins sitting around waiting to be used. So all I do is I pour out a few sequins. That's more than a few. And then I just grab some glue, and I've just got glossy accents here because that's what I had to hand. And then you just dot little bits of glue. Now, it depends on how chunky you want your cookie. But I just sort of dot little bits of glue, and then I just take the sequins and put them on top and just try and put them in the middle of the glue and push them down. Just that way you don't get as much glue showing. I think I have more than one sequin there. Maybe I didn't. And then you just kind of space them over your cookie how you want them. It doesn't. The thing with this is it's meant to be random. Like if you bite into a choc chip cookie, you're not going to get the same amount of choc chips in the same space every time. You're going to get a random amount of choc chips. There's going to be a random amount of choc chips showing. There's, so basically the idea is to do this as random as possible. See, there you go, and that's it. That is so easy. Like, it takes no time. The thing that I think took me the longest was literally punching out the circles, and that was because I was doing a bulk lot, because I had gotten a lot of Mexican kits when they were half price. I had half a dozen boxes or so, and you get a lot of cookies. I still have a ton of these circles cut out ready to go for these or other things depending on my mood. I have been trying to get into the habit of using the 3 different size circle punches I have. I really need like a couple of other sizes, but I'll get there eventually. But this was the 2-inch circle punch was a gift from a friend, and I use it all the time. It was such a good gift. But basically, I've been cutting circles out because when you make rosettes, for example, or other flowers, it's really nice to have circles pre-cut. And because it's the back, and because often in boxes and things you have white spots and stuff, like, I don't think it matters if I make a rosette that's going to be stuck down that has, a chipboard backing. That that doesn't bug me, and I hope it doesn't bug anyone I send anything to, but I would rather recycle that. So that's, see, look at that, that's hard, that's sort of not as chalk chippy, that is chalk chippy. Like, it's just so super easy, and I've managed to turn a super easy thing into a 10-minute tutorial by blathering on. Because that is how I do things. Yes, yes it is. So it's just that easy. Like, and one packet of Sequins is going to go so far. I think I didn't even, I think I made over 60 cookies, and I think I hit maybe a third to a half of what I had at most. And I was being pretty generous with my sequin choc chips. But these are so cute. They're so simple. I cannot urge you enough to try making these. I think they are just adorable embellishments. And it was all because I looked at the chipboard I had, and it just had such a nice texture to it that I just immediately thought of cookies. So I'm going to leave these ones to dry, but we have some more here. So I'm just going to show you how I've been packaging them. As I showed you some in their package, but I'm just going to grab one of these gorgeous little heart bags. I'm going to grab 3 cookies, and I'm just going to line them up how I sort of want them, so that they look like they've had a nice little bite out. And as you can see, none of the bites are even either. They're all different sizes. And then what I try and do is just line it up to how big the bag is. And then I just slip them inside. Wrong way. And you can see I have not covered the back of these because I didn't want to. I figured sometimes it's nice to know that someone's recycled something and made something from pretty much nothing, because basically the sequins honestly didn't cost a lot. These are recycled embellishments. So basically all I've paid for is the glue, the ink, and excuse me, the sequins and the bags. And you add these up, and these might have only cost a few cents to make, or not even. I don't know. I never sort of did a cost thing because I didn't count how many sequins are in the bag. And then you just fold it over. And or you could even do it higher and do, like, if you want to do a little, what do you call it, a topper, which I've recently learnt I can do on the mini envelope punch board, which is pretty cool. Those punch boards from We Are Memory Keepers, people have such good imaginations for those. But there you go. So there's a little packet of cookies. So that is number 4 in my 100 things challenge. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know below if you're going to try it. As I said, I know a couple of people have received cookies already from me. Not everyone, but I made quite a few packets, and I will be making some more. As you can see, I have plenty to keep me going for a while, to make at least, you know, a good amount to tide me over, probably for a good couple of years of embellishments. But, you know, sometimes it's good to get on a kick, make lots of one thing, and then move along to something else. These are fun. These are something I can see revisiting because they are super easy. If you have flat white sequins, they could be white choc chip cookies. If you have just whatever, you could do rainbow cookies. You could use the doodlebug toppings to do like hundreds and thousands cookies and stuff. So there is such a variety of what you can do with these. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Super easy, not many materials, not very labor intensive, and something that you could probably sit around with the kids and do as well. Anyway, I'll stop blathering. Remember, as always, you are incredible, you are amazing, and most importantly of all, yes, you truly do matter. Bye!